53% of Fortune 100 companies have embraced crypto, blockchain, and Web3 technologies. Why? Well, to stay ahead in the global economy, of course. These corporations, the 100 largest public and private companies in the United States, know that our century-old global financial system needs updating, that blockchain can be a foundational solution, and that not keeping pace will mean losing ground in this global economy to competitors from around the world. Now, these are just a few of the findings from The State of Crypto, a report recently released by Coinbase in partnership with The Block. The report explores the growing embrace of crypto, blockchain, and Web3 by corporate America since 2022. It takes data from both Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 companies and looks at what's driving this development, explores trends in investment and innovation, and examines how continued regulatory uncertainty may affect all facets of crypto and Web3. So, in this video, I'll break down the report so you don't have to read it yourself. That said, I will of course leave a link to it in the description if you do. And now, on with the show. I have to say, this report filled me with a mixture of optimism and frustration. Optimism for the state of crypto and frustration over the debacle that is US crypto regulation, or lack thereof. The report shows that most executives are acutely aware of the transformative power of Web3 technology, realize they need to adopt it to stay competitive, and are willing to put their money where their mouths are by investing in the sector. Yet one of the largest barriers to adoption is the unclear regulatory environment in the United States. Both this report, as well as Coinbase's State of Crypto Summit, which brought together hundreds of industry leaders, highlight how the US risks losing jobs, financial status, and investment opportunities to other jurisdictions. Two key statistics in the report highlight this trend starkly. First, the US's share of global Web3 development has dropped from 40% to 29% in the last 6 years. And yes, you heard that right, an 11% drop in just over half a decade. And that's not all. According to the report, the US is at risk of losing out on 1 million Web3 developer jobs and 3 million related non-technical jobs to other countries between now and 2030 if it continues on its current path of regulation by enforcement. This is what is at stake as Gary Gensler and his posse at the SEC continue to obfuscate, debate, and frustrate. It's enough to make you irate. Now, of course, Coinbase, as one of the exchanges currently being sued by the SEC, likely has a somewhat anti-SEC agenda. Nevertheless, the data speaks for itself. And moreover, if you've been following this channel or have watched any of the panels from the State of Crypto Summit, which I'll link to below, you'll notice this sense of frustration is far-reaching. This was particularly evident in the panel titled The Road to Regulatory Clarity, where Michael Piwawa, the former chairman of the SEC, and J. Christopher Giancarlo, the former chairman of the CFTC, pulled no punches as they lamented how the US system and its quibbles over whether an asset is a security or a commodity is stifling innovation and ensuring the country's economic adversaries are gaining a competitive advantage. As J. Christopher put it, quote, "We're resisting this innovation, and by resisting it, we're not influencing it. Others are going to have a much greater influence." Now, let's get back to the report and dig into the main findings. First, let's look at the companies that are adopting crypto. Unsurprisingly, the vast majority, around 75% of crypto activities, are taken up by companies in tech, financial services, and retail since Q1 of 2020. Among the top 10 Fortune 100 brands in terms of volume of Web3 initiatives, you have companies across 4 sectors: tech, banking, retail, and beverage. In order, these are IBM, which tops the list with 18 initiatives. Next, you have both Microsoft and Google's parent company Alphabet at 11. Then there's Goldman Sachs with 10, JP Morgan Chase with 9, Amazon and Citigroup with 6 apiece, and Coca-Cola, Nike, and Bank of America with 5 each. Interestingly, while the insurance industry doesn't have many Web3 initiatives overall, there are 2 notable outliers. Mass Mutual has taken part in 7 investment rounds totaling $1.3 billion, and State Farm, another insurance company, ranks 5th among all Fortune 100 companies in terms of Web3 patents filed at 135. So, why are all these companies investing in crypto and Web3? Well, put simply, the biggest brands on the planet understand the revolutionary potential of Web3 technologies. 63% of surveyed crypto/blockchain-aware Fortune 500 executives say Web3 technologies will be pivotal for business, comparing Web3 to the internet or artificial intelligence. The report also suggests that AI and Web3's paths are likely to intersect, an exciting prospect. Indications of this include IBM's leadership in the volume of Web3 initiatives in the context of its plan to replace nearly 8,000 jobs with AI, or Microsoft's high volume given its reported $13 billion investment in OpenAI. Another reason you could say these companies are innovating and investing in Web3 technologies is because of good old FOMO. It affects all of us, folks. 64% of Fortune 500 executives who are familiar with cryptocurrency or blockchain say their competitors will boost investment in the next 2 years and are keen to stay ahead of the curve. Interestingly, staying ahead of competition is far more important than keeping customers happy. Just 45% of these executives said their motivation to invest in Web3 technologies is based on a desire to meet consumers' expectations. In order to determine the specific use cases of current and planned crypto, blockchain, and Web3 initiatives among Fortune 500 executives, researchers identified the Fortune 500 execs who are familiar with blockchain or crypto and are currently planning or have crypto initiatives or projects, and asked them, quote, "What types of cryptocurrency, blockchain, or Web3 projects is your business working on or considering?" As you can see from the graph, blockchain infrastructure topped that list at 52%, followed by data collection management, payments and settlements, supply chain management, and process automation / smart contracts. NFTs and collectibles and the metaverse were on the lower end with 20% and 18% respectively. But while NFTs have declined as a trend overall, they are driving retail's recent surge in Web3 initiatives, which is helping to diversify sector participation beyond tech and financial services, and offers companies a path to a return on investment. As the report notes, Fortune 100 companies have accumulated royalty revenue of approximately $100 million from around 200,000 transactions involving just short of 120,000 distinct consumers. And leading the pack in terms of royalty revenue, distinct purchaser base, and the number of unique collections launched is none other than Nike. Moving on, let's take a look at investing trends. Both Web3 venture investment by Fortune 100 companies and the overall volume of Fortune 100 Web3 initiatives are down in 2023, in keeping with the broader pullback across all sectors due to the tough macro environment. However, we are seeing these building back at a respectable rate in 2023. Fortune 100 companies have made 109 private venture capital investments across 80 crypto blockchain startups since 2017, participating in rounds totaling more than $8 billion. As you can see in the graph, the most common crypto investment categories are financial services and enterprise solutions such as B2B blockchain-related services, together making up almost 50% of all deals, followed by infrastructure such as nodes or dev tooling. Citi Ventures, Google Ventures, Microsoft Ventures, and Goldman Sachs have made as many crypto private investments as all other Fortune 100 companies combined. As for the Fortune 500, meanwhile, the report indicates that the average Web3 initiative or project budget for 2023 is nearly $5.8 million. 57% of Fortune 500 executives interviewed believe that their company's investment will increase in the next 2 years. Approximately the same number believe their competitors' investments in Web3 will also increase over the same period. In other words, the race is on. Well, the race is on, but it's really more of an obstacle course. The report's final section looks at these obstacles, or rather main barriers to greater adoption of Web3 technologies. These include the need for education, technical skills development, and, no surprises here, regulatory clarity. First, on education, the report states that educating corporations and consumers about the benefits of investment in crypto and blockchain is crucial. Internal understanding of the technology, use cases, and how to get started on Web3 initiatives needs to be improved to remove barriers to adoption. Currently, the top sources for learning about these technologies are threefold. Industry reports are at the top with 63%, followed by industry events at 62% and news coverage at 49%. Funnily enough, the report doesn't specify how many executives watch Coin Bureau video summaries of industry reports and news coverage, but well, maybe there are a few. Now, the second obstacle to greater adoption is skills-based. At present, nearly a third of the executives cite a lack of trusted talent with the right skills. The report encourages partnerships with developer communities and colleges to educate more skilled talent and keep the innovation onshore in the United States. It estimates that there's potential for 1 million blockchain-related open-source developer jobs and 3 million related non-technical jobs to be created by 2030. These are the same jobs Gary and the SEC risk driving to other jurisdictions. And here we segue smoothly to the third obstacle to greater adoption, the lack of regulatory clarity. A whopping 92% of surveyed executives urge policymakers to develop new regulations tailored to crypto, blockchain, and Web3 technologies instead of relying on outdated frameworks. 73% of the Fortune 500 executives say that for crypto, blockchain, or Web3 initiatives, their company would prefer working with a US-based partner. The stakes are high. If the US wants to maintain its leadership in the global financial system, then legislators need to come up with clear regulations that foster innovation and job creation. Failure to do this will result in a loss of influence over international financial and data standards, as well as a shift of innovation and investment to other countries. The EU, Japan, UAE, and the UK all stand to gain from US intransigence. So, in other words, sort it out, Gary. Anyway, leaving aside the dithering and hostility from Gary & Co., it's encouraging to see that despite the bear market and the reputational damage to the sector caused by FTX, the majority of executives interviewed, quote, know that our century-old global financial system needs updating, and they appreciate that crypto, blockchain, and Web3 technology is the way to do it. I, for one, am excited to see the fruits of these investments in innovation, and the intersection between AI and crypto is a particularly interesting dimension. Hey, we might even do a video on that, in fact, so keep an eye out. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. You should also check out our deals page where you'll find discounts on the very best crypto wallets, not to mention up to $40,000 in bonus airdrops at the best crypto exchanges. The links are, of course, in the description. So, it's goodbye from me, and thank you for watching.